I was lucky enough to have a chance to go to a Green Bay Packers game at the historic Lambeau field recently, so I thought, why not put some 1-star reviews to the test while I'm there? So, come with me, Jeff, as I go to Lambeau Field. Also, if you could take a quick moment and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't, I'm on the road to 1K subscribers and each like and each subscription helps a ton. Alright, now into the video. So the way I'll be doing these reviews will be in like your typical game experience. So the first review is about parking and it comes from Steve. The reality is that the parking is not great, and to get in and out takes a rather long time. OTS 3 made even worse with half-drunk rednecks. I'm guessing something happened to Steve and or to his keyboard for that last sentence there. I hope he's okay. But in reality, the parking around the stadium is a little bit different than normal. There are some parking lots, but you can also park in some people's lawns, their driveways, in front of their houses, and for our case, we parked in an abandoned warehouse parking lot for 20 bucks, and it was super easy in and super easy out. You just have to know where to park. I should probably mention the reason I got to go to this game was that my girlfriend's parents have season tickets, so we actually got to go together. She's not in any of these videos, but she did take the picture of me for the thumbnail and the video of me walking. So shout out to her. And shout out to her parents for the awesome Christmas gift. Alright, we're moving on to the next phase. You parked your car, you walk up to the stadium, and now you need to get through security. So let's see how that went for Brian. I am so sad. Our 13-year-old son had such a sad experience at Lambeau Field. He literally cried after entrance. I've been going to NFL games for over 25 years, and never been denied entrance to a game based upon empty water bottles and unopened food. The staff claim the NFL dictates all food and empty hard water bottles now be thrown in the garbage before entering the stadium. We threw away so much good food for billionaires' profits. Our son now believes the league does not care we threw away perfectly good food and resources that could have gone towards feeding and supporting our family. He was an avid fan of #football before today. They are sorely mistaken to think him and our family will continue to support such corrupt policy that upholds profits over people. Anybody at #Lambeau, #Lambeau Field, #Green Bay should feel ashamed. #shame, #profits over people, #GoPackGo, #GB, #We the People, #Seahawks, #12s, #12th fan, #GoHawks, #capitalism, #billionaires. I haven't seen that many hashtags on a post since like Instagram in 2011, but I'm left a little bit confused by Brian's review. Were they denied entrance outright to the stadium, or were they allowed to go in after they threw away the food and the hard water bottle? And what made Brian and his family think they could bring in outside food and outside water bottles to an NFL game? Fun fact, you can actually do that to most Major League Baseball games, but not the NFL. Luckily for us, we got to the stadium about an hour before kickoff and there was no line to go through security. I didn't even have to take stuff out of my pockets or get scanned or anything. I just walked right through. It was pretty easy. My girlfriend brought like a folding chair to sit on and she didn't even have to like put that through a scanner or anything. I would say that was pretty smooth. We also didn't try to bring in any outside food or drink, but I did bring in a stick of gum. Shh. Now we've made it inside. Our next goal is to find our seats. Let's see how that experience went for Gene. For as much money as they charge for the tickets, food, and drinks, this stadium isn't very senior friendly. I had to literally crawl up to my seats. If it wasn't for some generous fans helping me, I wouldn't have gotten to my friend, who is a seasoned tie set holder seats. No section for seniors with comfortable seats with backsides on them. This may be the last game I attend. I am definitely no expert or anything like that in senior citizens, but if Gene had to crawl to get to his seats, I don't think he should be going to these games anymore. Unfortunately, Lambeau does not seem too senior friendly from the outside, but I'm not quite at that senior age yet. But even at my young and spry age, going up those stadium steps is pretty annoying, and our seats aren't that far up. And the bleachers, oh the bleachers. So this is a professional stadium and it still has like high school bleacher seats, unless you're in like the way up nosebleeds or you have like a good like box seat. But the regular seating are just bench seats with numbers on them. You can rent and bring in stadium seats that like hook into the seat, and then you have like this little chair you sit on. But I didn't go with that. I was fine. My girlfriend had one. She liked it. It would be really nice when it gets really cold out. I've gone to some really cold games and your butt freezes off. Oh, just Jeff sneaking in here for a quick shout out to the Super Jeff Freak channel members: Darth Jen, Jawara Hall, Steven, Jake, and Aurora's Aura. Thank you so much for the extra support. Alright, back to the video. So you make it inside, you find your seats, everything is feeling good. Time to go find something to eat and something to drink. We'll start with G's review. $35 for low quality cheese curds and 2 cold brats. Total joke. Doing no service to Wisconsin's reputation. $35 for cheese curds and 2 brats. It's a little over $10 per item. That sounds about right for an NFL stadium, sadly. Unfortunately for me, I didn't eat any food at Lambeau, or maybe fortunately for my wallet. We had a huge breakfast that morning and I was pretty full until like later that evening. But my girlfriend got a foot-long hot dog and she said it was very good and very filling, and I saw a lot of people walking around with those foot-long hot dogs. They looked pretty tasty, but I was so full. I had like 12 strips of bacon that morning. Whew. Let's move on to another food-related review, and this one comes from Greg. At halftime at Green Bay vs. Raiders game, we went to get some food. Waited in line from halftime to end of third quarter. And once it was my turn, they told me we are all out of food and only have fries I can't eat. Never experienced this before at any other stadium. This place sucked. I about starved to death at the game. Don't go hungry. The only thing I actually did go and wait in line for to get was a coffee, and the line went really quick and the service was very quick too. The thing that took the longest was the lady was having a hard time pressing the screen with her gloves on. We were right by like the entrance to the field and the wind was just whipping some cold air in there, and I think it was making the computer act wonky. I don't know, I didn't really mind. That's just life. So we figured out the seating, we figured out the food. Now it's time for the game. Let's see how the game went for Cheslin. Terrible experience. Bullied the whole time, and the event staff did nothing despite witnesses. Do not recommend wearing anything other than GB apparel. Terrible show of sportsmanship. That is no fun at all and should never happen at a professional sporting event. I've been to a half a dozen or more Packer games, and there's always a good amount of opposing fans. This time around it was a Panthers game, and there weren't too many Panthers fans, but there was a group, like a family pretty close to us, and the mother was celebrating like crazy. She was like in her late 50s, early 60s. She had a banner and everything, and nobody harassed her at all. She was kind of like riling the crowd up and stuff. It was pretty funny, actually. And I've actually never seen anyone get bullied around me before, so maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe it depends on who you go and see. Let me know if you've ever been to a sporting event and people harassed you. Let's read another review about the game experience. This one's from Larissa. The second that my husband and I sat down, we had Green Bay fans yelling at us to show them proof of our stadium tickets. Then they proceeded to yell at the fans in front of them to sit down. More fans behind us were also yelling at the people in front of us to sit down the entire first half. There wasn't even real seats at Lambeau, just one long bench with numbers on it. Driving from Iowa for this experience was absolutely not worth it. I'm guessing that Larissa was a fan of the not Green Bay team, but I still can't imagine fans yelling at a different fan to have them show them their seats. Seems very strange and super unnecessary to do, but drunk people be drunk sometimes. And I do agree about the seats not being real seats. It is just one long metal bench, like I said before, with numbers on it. You can put padding down, or what I saw some people do, it was like a piece of insulation, like the hard foam insulation. Plenty of people do things like that too. Like I said before, I personally had no problem sitting down on the bench and standing up every once in a while. Nobody yelled at me to sit down. And my girlfriend had one of those stadium seats you hook into the bench and you can sit on it, and she said that was great too. So, no complaints from Jeff. We have one review left, but before we get to that review, I'm going to do my own review of the halftime show. So to kick off the halftime show, they had a bunch of local high school football players. These ones were all girls. They have the quarterbacks and a wide receiver, and they do this contest where the wide receiver runs a straight line, and the quarterback just heaves it down the field. And they do this at almost every Packer game I go to, and almost nobody ever catches it. And for this one, nobody caught it until the last person. All she had to do was catch it to win, and she did. After the longest throw contest is over, the Wisconsin Badgers marching band came out to perform some Billy Joel songs. That was pretty entertaining to watch too, and before you knew it, halftime was over. I give halftime 5 out of 5. Kept me entertained, and it kept me energized. The next review was left as a pretty general review of the entire stadium, and it's from Mike. This place actually smells like cat urine and feces. Absolutely horrible. Well, I can definitely say that was not the case for me. It smelled like fried food and maybe a hint of beer, but it definitely did not smell like cat urine or feces, that's for sure. After the game is done and you're walking outside, you can either walk back to where you parked, or you can take one of the many rickshaws that people are operating with a bike. You can have 4 or even 6 people on some of them, I believe. There were some pretty big ones. I don't know how much they cost because we just walked back to the car. And once you get out of like the general area, it's pretty smooth sailing out of there. I would give our Lambeau experience a 5 out of 5. It was a pretty great time. Everything was pretty expensive, but I'd be even more shocked if it was cheap. And with that, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Check out this video on screen now if you haven't seen it. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And I've been Jeff, and I can't wait to see you next time. Goodbye.